All right. Shalom. First and foremost, all praises, honor, and glory to
Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai.
All right, double honors to the apostles, and salutations to you brothers doing this thing in sincerity, with truth, and with charity. All right, this is another episode of Spirit is Like the Wind, and we're gonna go right into it, man. And you can get Psalm 23. Yeah.
This is Psalms 23. In verse 1, it says, "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He layeth beside me the still waters. He restored my soul. He leadeth me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will not fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me."
Right. So look, he said, "The Lord." Read the verse above that one.
He restored my soul.
Right. He restored my soul. All right. So when did this happen? When did our King go into the valley of the shadow of death? All right. Be dead and have to be restored again, man. When did this happen? Where is this located at, man? Keep going.
He restored my soul. He leadeth me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me.
God, here's the answer, man. Psalms 137:1. By the rivers of Babylon, there we sat down. Yea, we wept, and we remembered Zion. All right, we hanged our harps upon the willows in the midst thereof. For they that carried us away captive required of us a song. All right, so what was this at, man? Babylon. That's the valley of the shadow of death. And real quick to prove that, this is Job 10 and 21. Before I go whence I shall not return, even to the land of darkness and the shadow of death. A land of darkness, as darkness itself, and the shadow of death, without any order, and where the light is as darkness, right? And when you go into that word Babylon, I'll pull it up real quick. I'm gonna just grab it in Psalm 137. The word Babylon, of course, means is Babal, confusion. All right, but it's when you go into it, the actual what it means. Because it's confusion as without order. And that's what it means. That's what confusion means. Confusion as without order. It's a lot. All right, this one says confusion as by mixing. This is Job 10. 22. Let me get that. Slovakia. So the confusion, not having order. And that's the very definition of Babylon, man. Confusion, no order. All right. Yeah, they haven't got it even strong, so I'm after them. Yeah, not sure. Yeah, it took a lot of shit. Nevertheless, don't matter. That word confusion means as without order. And that's the very definition of Babylon. All right? Confusion, without order. And that's the valley of the shadow of death. But King David said he would be. All right, and not only that, he said, he literally said it's Babylon, man. In Psalms 137. All right. That's the valley of shadow of death. So I'm gonna read the Psalm 137 over. By the rivers, Psalm 137 and 1. By the rivers of Babylon, there we sat down. Yea, we wept when we remembered Zion. We hanged our harps upon the willows in the midst thereof. For there that carried us away captive, we went to captivity, right? That was the song. The day that wasted us required of us mirth, saying, sing us one of the songs of Zion. How shall we sing the Lord's song in a strange land? If I forget thee, O Jerusalem, let my right hand forget her cunning. All right, and what does it say in that? The Psalms 23 says, my soul was restored, man. So he remembered Jerusalem. Because the curse of Deuteronomy 28, it says, thou and thy king shall
Hold on. This is Deuteronomy 28 and 36. It says, Yahweh shall bring thee and thy king, which thou shalt set over thee, unto a nation which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, and there shalt thou serve other gods, wood and stone.
And that's the death part right there. All right, ye that walk in, them that turn to where the Lord shall remain the congregation of the dead. What happened? We got put in this captivity. All right, we learned how to serve these idols over here. All right, mainly Jesus Christ, Islam. All right, shit like that, man. So we was in that great falling away happened. We completely forgot who we were, and we was just anything, man. That's us being in the valley of the shadow of death, man. So back in Psalms 137 and 6, if I do not remember thee, let my tongue cleave to the roof of my mouth. If I prefer not Jerusalem above my chief joy. All right, then verse 7. Remember, O Lord, the children of Edom in the day of Jerusalem, who said, race it, even to the foundation thereof. O daughter of Babylon, who are to be destroyed, happy shall it be that rewardeth thee as thou hast served us. Happy shall it be that taketh and dasheth thy little ones against the stones. And where did this happen at, man? All right, over here in America, man. That's where we got brought to captivity at. Because how would us and our king get brought to that captivity? Slave ships, right? It's we got Deuteronomy 20 still? 68. How we get to this captivity, man?
68 verse. Deuteronomy 28:68. And Yahweh shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships by the way whereof I spake unto thee. Thou shalt see it no more again, and there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you.
There you go. So we was going to go via slave ship to this land. And when we got there, who else would be there? The Northern Kingdom, Jeremiah 50:33. We were oppressed together, right? But it says she's going to Egypt again, right? This is Revelation 11 and 8. And they're there. Revelation 11 and 8. And their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city. All right, talking about Babylon, the daughter of Babylon, man. That whore, that mystery Babylon, man. The whore that rode upon a beast. All right, the whore that was the face of the company for the rest of the fucking European countries, man. The rest of the Edomite countries. Who is that, man? Ain't the fucking Vatican. Well, what is this, man? Is the Spanish Inquisition finna happen over, man? This is 2017. The Vatican ain't been hot for a long time, man. America's been the face of the company. Merkel didn't go before the public and say we can't let America make its decisions for us anymore. This like it. They go and say let us make Vatican. We can't let Vatican make decisions for us anymore. No, Merkel said who? We can't let America make the decisions for us anymore, man. Talking to the rest of the European Union, man. All right, the rest of the heads of the United Nations. All right, and that's the great city. America's that great city. That put sanctions on foreign countries based off its personal interest. All right, and the rest of the nations follow and agree. Like it says in Revelation, I believe 17 or maybe 18, that they all get power over to the beast.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt, where also our Lord was crucified, right? Because they took down that image over here. All right? This is what the image of Yahweh Shai was completely transformed, man. All right, it was officially established on this side. All right, which is spiritual Egypt. Then we go into slavery via slave ships into Vatican. No, we did not, man. Verse 9. And they of the people and kindreds and tongues and nations shall see their dead bodies 3 days and a half, and should not suffer their dead bodies to be put in the grave. All right, and where did they look and see this at? Over here in America. This is niggas became niggas over here in America. All right, when did niggas become just straight dead, like it says right here? All right, when did the heathen see us and clap their hands and hiss at us while we've been in this American captivity? When did we become a proverb in the Bible word? All right, when did this happen, man? By the image that the so-called white man painted against us, man. That all happened well over here in America. When did they finally look at the Israelites and say, is this the beauty of kingdoms? All right, because we've been bought this low. That all happened over here. This is what a nation is seen if he held us in a northern and southern kingdom oppressed together and just be nothing, be dead. And they that dwell upon the earth shall rejoice over them and make merry, and shall send gifts one to another, because these two prophets tormented them that dwell on earth. Let you know it's talking about the northern and southern kingdom right there. All right, being oppressed together. And where did this happen at? The valley of the shadow of death, where that great falling away happened, which is Babylon, the daughter of Babylon, which is Edom. This is Jeremiah 50:33. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, the children of Israel and the children of Judah were oppressed together. And all that took them captive, held them fast, they refused to let them go. Their Redeemer is strong, the Lord of hosts is his name. He shall thoroughly plead their cause, that he may give rest to the land and disquiet the inhabitants of Babylon. All right, just as King David said, that the Lord will restore his soul. All right, just like we read this Revelation, man. This is what we fell away at. This is what we've been oppressed at, and this is what we've returned to the Lord at, man. All right, in verse Revelation 11:11 now. And after 3 days and a half, the spirit of life from the Most High entered into them, and they stood upon their feet, and great fear fell upon them which saw them. Where did the awakening start happening, man? All right, all these Israelites is popping up started happening where, man? All right, in America. That's the Babylon. That's all that's proven. This is the valley of the shadow of death, and this is where the awakening is starting, man. All right, that started over that. All these different camps around right now, for the most part, come out of what? One West. Was One West based in the Vatican? All right. We know Apostle Gabar speaks some Italian, but man, shit. I'm sure you, man, it started over here in America. All right. You guys know?
God, I got some right here. Yeah. I got Revelation 17, because basically it's gonna tie in how the beast. Our link says is Revelation 17. I'll start at 1. It says, and there came one of the 7 angels which had the 7 vials, and talked with me, saying unto me, come hither. I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sit upon many waters, with whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication. All right, so the kings of the earth have benefited. Why? Because they're in allegiance, because they took those philosophies, right, in order for them to make those trade deals with not the Vatican, but with America, man, this consuming nation. It says, as a matter of fact, let me see the Nahum, where it says Nahum 3.
That sell nations.
Khan. I got it right here. This is Nahum 3 and 4. It says, because of the multitude of the whoredoms of the well-favored harlot, the mistress of witchcrafts, that selleth nations through her whoredoms, and families through her witchcrafts. Behold, I am against thee, saith the Lord of hosts, and I will discover thy skirts upon thy face, and I will show the nations thy nakedness, and the kingdom thy shame. And who's being exposed, man? Esau, Edom. What does it say in the book of Thessalonians? It says, to the son of perdition be revealed, man. And where's that happening? Like the brother said, where are these camps sprouting out from, man? I mean, ultimately, the word is going to hit the 4 corners. You see different camps everywhere. But where did the awakening come? all the offshoot camps or all the other camps, where did they spring out of? Of one West, man. And that was where, man? That was in the Vatican, man. That was in New York, man.
That's right. And he said that cell of nations, right, through her witchcrafts and whores, man. And how is that, man? Who's gathered the world, man? Who's gathered the world in his hands, all right? Through his trickery, deceit of a credit-based system, all right? Through the deceit of democracy and being forced on the people, man. All right? America. All right? They took and put a Western mindset out there that the world had to follow. All right? The world had to get on board with to deal with them, man. America's done that, man. The Vatican had got, basically, this is going into who got the world influence, man. Who's gathered the world and influenced them? Who controls them? Who puts sanctions on these people, man? Who get their resources, man? All right? Who money did everybody have to use, all right, to trade? Even if, say, Russia wanted to do a fucking deal with any fucking other country, they would still have to use the U.S. dollar to do those trades, man.
They would trade their currency to the petrodollar to be able to trade on it.
Yep. They had to deal with the interest and everything that was involved in that, man. And this Jeremiah 51:7. Babylon has been a golden cup in the Lord's hand. All right? That made all the earth drunken. When did the Vatican do this? When did the Vatican get all this influence on the world, man? To get them all to be at one with them. All right? To drink, to eat at that table with them, man. To do all these international deals with. Who the fuck is the Vatican deal with, man? All right? This is talking about America. That made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken her wine, therefore the nations are mad, man. All right? And who are these nations coming against right now? America. Everybody's currently turning their backs on who? America. Not the Vatican, man. Vatican already been played out, man. Shit. That's
right. This is verse 3 back in Revelation 17. It says, so he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet-colored beast, full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns. It says, and the woman was arrayed, purple and scarlet colored, and decked with gold and precious stone, and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand, full of abominations and filthiness of her fornication. Again, that golden cup, man. All right. It says, and upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth. Mystery Babylon. But going back to the 7 heads and the 10 horns is who does America use to push those agendas, man? All right. Who's the NATO troops? All right, or the UN troops? And basically what was it? And whoever wasn't basically not on it. Now you're seeing what the adverse is, that now that there's a division, like Merkel said, we can't let America influence our decisions, because now you're seeing the division. All right, like it says in Mark 3, man. Now that you see the demise of the Israelites was them being, it was prophesied that they'd be divided, and that was going to be their fall. And the same thing goes to Esau, man. Deuteronomy 30:7. This is Mark 3, and I'll start in 23. It said, he called to them unto him and said unto them in parables, how can Satan cast out Satan? It says, if a kingdom be divided against itself, that kingdom cannot stand. And if a house be divided against itself, that house cannot stand. And if Satan rise up against himself and be divided, he cannot stand but have an end. And that's what you're seeing the beginning of, man. All right, Satan, all right, these Edomites are being divided, man. All right, because even Donald Trump, before one of his promises, was to dismantle what, man? Those trade agreements, okay? Because he had that proud, haughty spirit to think that America is gonna be great again, man. All right, because that's the pride of America, man. They think that this kingdom, the pride of Edomites, is that this kingdom is gonna continue forever, man. All right, and I'm just gonna hit the point in 17 to prove. This is Revelation 17 and 15. It said, and he said unto me, the waters which thou sawest, where the with the horse sitteth, are peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues. And then you see that the whole Statue of Liberty, man. The whole plaque. What did it say? Give us your weak, basically give us your weak, your sick. All right, because what did this place need, man? When this place was coming in, when the industrial age, what did they need? They needed slaves, man. So they were importing them from Europe, man. All right, via New York, man. All right. Let's sit on the Revelation. Because in verse 8 in Revelations 18, it talks about the same thing, man. This Revelations 18 and 1, it says, after these things, I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the Great is fallen, it is fallen, and has become the habitation of devils. Now we know that ICBM missiles are going to hit certain parts of the all over the world, man. But it's going to utterly destroy Babylon, man. All right. It says, and he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the Great is fallen, it is fallen, is become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every false spirit, and the cage of every unclean and hateful bird. It says, for all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her. And the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. Now, Europe, for the most part, exports, man. All right, but America is that merchant city, man. All right, it's that consuming nation. All you got to do is check your tags, check your dishes, man. All right, check your American flag is made in China, man. All right, so even that proud spirit isn't even on these devils, man. You guys are basically consuming from everybody, man. All right, your toys made in China. All right, your shirts made in Taiwan or any of the other nations that use slave labor, man. Why? Because they're in league with Esau, man. They have their own people in captivity, man. Those Moabites. What do they have? They have those nets around those factories, man, for them to if they want to jump out the buildings, man. All to what? To ultimately just to have a contract to basically have to be dealt with by Babylon, man, accepting homosexuality and pushing forward and allowing that to be an agenda, man. It says, John, that was in the
I had a piece of, especially how you said, how they all in league with each other, man. These other nations, which is proving that, you know, this is Babylon. This on Psalms 83, start at 1. Keep not silence, O Most High Power, hold not thy peace, and be not still, O Most High Power, for thy enemies make it tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head, which they coming against us. Man, it's the heaven over here, man. Hey, man, we look down upon over here, man. For all the nations. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones. And that's them being together, man. The EU and the United Nations, man. They coming together. They came together to come against us, man. And now since now they drunk of their cup, now they got to get that wrath that's about to come, man. They helped out Esau, man. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. And they did that, man. They all worked together to come against us. And now they regret it. Now they're trying to come against America, man.
see the location of the UN, all right, where they hold these meetings. We're in New York. It says the UN, the United Nations headquarters is located in the heart of New York City on First Avenue between 42nd and 48th. All right, that's not in the Vatican, man. That's not on the other side of the pond.
Verse 5, for they have consulted together with joint consent. They had confederate against it, and that's what they did, man. So I mean, I don't understand where this Vatican come from. They call it Babylon, because man, this happened. We lost our remembrance here, man. We went to slavery over here, and the nations came against us together. They came against us, man.
Right.
So
The great falling away happened over here.
yeah.
Hey, because even if you watch, say, like Amistad, a lot of the Jake that was even in West Africa, they still knew that they were Israelites. All right, they still knew the Israelites. On Amistad, they got on that ship and they were still singing in Hebrew, man. All right, we didn't fall asleep until over here. That's why big thing in slavery was we couldn't speak our own language. We couldn't speak. All right, we couldn't speak our own language. They beat that out of us, changed our name. They took all that from us, man. Nothing happened in the Vatican. That happened over here. All right, that great falling away, we became dead bodies over here in America, man.
Hey, it's prophesied we'll be saved out of Babylon.
That's right.
So if the Vatican is Babylon, why ain't the nigga over there prophesying in Babylon?
Right. Only was in Europe.
So why don't he take his ass over there to the Vatican and go prophesy and wait to be saved out of the Vatican? Because that's where the deliverance coming from. That's what's prophesied in the scriptures.
Yeah.
You know, the deliverance is coming out of Babylon, man. So why? So why is the majority? Hey, in Revelation it says that this place was drunk with the blood of the saints and the prophets. You know, so why ain't the majority of the prophets? Why ain't they teaching out of the Vatican or out of Rome? You know. But you threw in that?
Yeah, I'm through with that.
I'm holding a couple.
They on the wrong part of the beast. They dealing before the damn beast got the worm. Talking about over there in Rome, man.
Right.
The worm already been hit. Shit, we in New Rome. That you too many ages behind, man.
This is Ezekiel 38:11. I'm gonna just hit this verse straight to the point, because while the brother was over there going what they was going through, I was just Googling different things, right? And I had Googled about is the Vatican surrounded by walls, right? And it says that this is Wikipedia. It says general knowledge of the Vatican. The city is surrounded partly by walls. You know, so it's partly surrounded by walls, right? And then the thing that popped in my head was, this is Ezekiel 38:11. It says, "And thou shalt say, I will go up to the land of unwalled villages." Well, Vatican City partly walled. It's talking about a place that's unwalled. You know, "I will go to them that are at rest, that dwell safely, all of them dwelling without walls and having neither bars nor gates."
What was that? That's America. Nobody. It said that she lived deliciously.
Yeah.
All right, and then they said who should make war with the beast that no man can come against. Who is that? America. They've been so comfortable at rest, at peace. All right, they ain't got no walls over here, man. Even with Canada being north of them and Mexico under them, they ain't put up no walls to separate that shit, man. It ain't happening, man. All right, it ain't fucking happening. This is the place of unwalled villages, man. All right, this place is free to do whatever the hell they want to. Only the main two groups that's got that shit is the fake Jews in America. They ain't got no fucking walls, man. They don't give a fuck. And that's the Chaldees and the Babylonians, man. That was a good point, yeah. Vatican got the wall. You see pictures of it, man. You can see pictures of the Vatican wall. That was a good fucking thought.
Yep. And then while I was looking for that, I was Googling is it surrounded by waters? Right? Because right here in Ezekiel 27, it says, I'm gonna start at 3. It says, I started 2. This is I started top. Ezekiel 27:1. It says, "The word of Yahweh came again unto me, saying, Now thou son of man, take up the lamentation for Tyrus, and say unto Tyrus, O thou that art situate at the entry of the sea, which are a merchant of the people for many isles, thus saith the Lord power, O Tyrus, thou hast said, I am of perfect beauty. Thy borders are in the midst of the seas. Thy builders have perfected thy beauty." And what's the merchant city? Well, the brother read in Revelation, You know, Lord willing, we'll go back to it, man. You know, how did all these merchants become rich? Off the merchant city, man. Off this place, because all their goods is being sold here. You know, and plenty of brothers then did the research about what's the number one country that imports goods from other places, man, which is America. You know.
Hey, I gotta back you up real quick. This is Isaiah 13 and 20. It showed. I'm gonna start it. This is Isaiah 13:19. And Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldees. America's been the greatest kingdom to ever reign, man. All right, they literally got the whole fucking world. They really got the whole world, man. You really gotta picture that. To put a sanction on somebody. All right, can you get the etymology of sanction? Are you not Googling that? Oh yeah.
Sanction.
Yeah.
Says sanction, the noun, early 15th century. Says confirmation or enactment of a law. From Latin, sanctionum, act of decreeing or ordaining.
Right. So how are you gonna put a law on a whole sovereign nation? All right, that's because they the ones owning this shit, man. That's America, man. All right, they've gained control over the nations, man. Like Isaiah 10 say, man. I'm gonna read it real quick. It's Isaiah 10. It is Isaiah 10. And 12. Yep. Wherefore it shall come to pass that when the Lord hath performed his whole work upon Mount Zion and on Jerusalem, I will punish the fruit of the stout heart of the king of Assyria and the glory of his high looks. Hey, the American Edomites are the most proud of the fucking the Edomites, man. All right. For he said by the strength.
No, it says whose look was more stout than his fellows, man. Right. You know.
Wait, all right. These dumbass Americans still think they can fuck Russia. You would be surprised when you go to the YouTube comment boards on the videos about Russia and shit. These damn American pride Edomites, time just nuke them off the map. Just read one about on North Korea. They said, look, the best thing to do is get rid of North Korea, free and feed those people. That's what they fucking said, man.
With what money?
Fucking idiots, right? America broke as fuck, right? But he said, by the strength of my hand have I done it. All right, and who's went across the world and waged war with everybody, man, and took them down, man? America has. And by my wisdom, all right, I am prudent. And I have removed bounds, I have removed the bounds of the people and have robbed their treasures. And I have put down the inhabitants like a valiant man. Who's done that? Took the natural resources, all right, got them all in league with they so-called higher way of thinking is Western mindset, man. Who's done that? The fact that it's a Western mindset, man. We ain't got a Vatican mindset.
Right, that's still the old world, man.
That's right. And my hand hath found as a nest the riches of the people. And as one gathered eggs that are left, have I gathered all the earth.
So like, but I can say this, man, all you got to do is you could pause the video right now and Google Navy presence or American military presence and see all the dots on the whole globe, man.
Right. How many American embassies are there on the world? Look that stuff up, man.
The Navy commercial actually brags. They have the dots. It's a blue map and has all the dots all over the planet, man.
That's right.
Is the Vatican doing that, or is it the U.S.? Is it the Navy? All right. Is it the Air Force?
And the Vatican got their own army. So why ain't they situated in all these different places?
Why they ain't putting sanctions on nobody? Why isn't the rest of Europe getting mad at the Vatican's enemies and going and attack them, being in league with one another? That don't happen, man. That happens when America's mad at somebody, the rest of the union get together, man. Because that's the hurl the beast back.
Mm-hmm. Hammer of the earth, man. How's the Vatican the hammer of the earth?
That's a good scripture. Yeah, the hammer, how's the hammer of the earth ceased, man? All right, who's been beating the earth ass? America. They made a whole movie about it, man. The World Policeman movie. All right? And there was none that moved the wing or opened the mouth or peeped. So nobody's come to America to try to attack it. Nobody's come to Spain to try to stop it. Everybody simply conformed. Everybody got on fiat currency. Everybody got on that whole way of thinking, trying to get great like America. Everybody's followed this philosophy, man. Everybody got on that wine. All right. None came against this shit, man. And those that like Gaddafi, hey, what happened to him? Taken down, boom. Anybody that resisted got met with force.
And even John F. Kennedy got smoked here, man. For what? For wanting to put the silver back? All right.
No, it's all good, brother. Because when you read Ezekiel 26, 27, and 28, well, one, I'm touch points in all three of these chapters. You know, it goes into the destruction of the merchant city, man. You know, which that merchant city is come on, man.
I was reading. I'm tweeting. I had Isaiah 13 for you. I ain't even get to the point. So because that was going to the whole world, right? This is back in Isaiah. Why you said that merchant city brought me back? It's Isaiah 13 and 19. And Babylon, the glory, because I came to because of this. In Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldees, excellency shall be as when the Most High overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. All right, so this place was beautiful, man. It was excellent, man. Everybody wants to be like America. In fact, people in stores of foreigners thinking that American streets were actually made of gold. People really picture this place to be more than what it is, man. Right? It shall never be inhabited, neither shall it be dwelt in from generation to generation. That's the point I wanted. Neither shall the Arabian pitch tent there, neither shall the shepherds make their fold there, man. Because the Arabian pitch tent, hey, these other heathens, especially all these heathens, man, come over here and get rich, send that money back home and leave. But especially the Arabians, man. They come, they set up shop in the so-called Negroes neighborhood, and they send money back to their families. They swap out. All right. And who is America big with the oil? The one of the biggest commerce. Who they with? Saudi Arabia, man. All right. Vatican got a huge oil deal with them. Were they forcing the world to trade with the U.S. dollar based off that oil deals they had? No, America does.
Right, ain't the euro.
Right, right. Ain't the euro, man.
Yep. So I'm gonna jump over to Ezekiel.
Whose dollar once it crashed gonna make the world economies fucking fall? Who currency I say? The U.S. dollar, man.
Who are these foreign countries buying debt from? The Vatican?
Right, right. China was buying up a bunch of Vatican debt, or they buying relics, right? Or they buying American debt. Was Japan buying a Vatican debt or American debt? All right, and it says that we would have healed Babylon, but they cast off. For a minute, they was keeping this place afloat, but now they said, fuck it. Now they land that wound under it, actually getting off the U.S. dollar and started to trade internationally with their own currency. That's all in the scriptures.
Yeah, RT posted, there's an article on RT today about the BRICS nation wanting to have their own internet connection, man. All right, that's that separation, that's that division, man. From what? From this whole right here, man.
That's right.
So Ezekiel 26 and 15. It says, "Thus saith the Lord power to Tyrus, shall not the isles shake at the sound of thy fall, when the wounded cry, when the slaughter is made in the midst of thee? Then all the princes of the sea shall come down from their thrones, and lay away their robes, and put off their broidered garments. They shall clothe themselves with trembling. They shall sit upon the ground, and shall tremble at every moment, and be astonished at thee." You know, going to the destruction of this place, man. Right? It says, "And they shall take up a lamentation for thee, and say to thee, how art thou destroyed, that was inhabited of seafaring men? How the majority of the people got here, man? You know, it says the renowned city. So seafaring men, you know, people arrived here on boat. That's how majority of the goods get here. It's shipped on what? You know, through the different ports. They even made what they call the Panama Canal, so they can get the goods to the West Coast even quicker, right? It says, which was strong in the sea, she and her inhabitants, which caused their terror to be. It says she and her inhabitants, which caused their terror to be on all that haunted. Now shall the isles tremble in the day of thy fall. Yea, the isles that are in the sea shall be troubled at thy departure. For thus saith the Lord power, when I shall make thee a desolate city, like the cities that are not inhabited. You know, because ancient Tyre and Zidon, that's in the land of Israel. That's in our land, man. It's people still living there today. But it says, what? When thou art not inhabited, when I shall bring up the deep upon thee, and great waters shall cover thee. When I shall bring thee down with them that descend into the pit, it remind me of Isaiah 14, you know. It says, with the people of old time, and shall set thee in the low parts of the earth, in places desolate of old, with them that go down to the pit, that thou be not inhabited, and I shall set glory in the land of the living. I will make thee a terror, and thou shalt be no more. Though thou be sought for, yet shalt thou never be found again, saith the Lord power. So it talks about what the merchants and the people bewail in this place. The same thing it says in Revelation 18, right? So I'm gonna, you know what's up?
I got Revelation 18.
No, because I was gonna jump Ezekiel 27. Now I'm gonna jump down to 27. It says, thy riches and thy fares, thy merchandise, thy mariners, and thy pilots, thy caulkers, and the occupiers of thy merchandise, and all thy men of war that are in thee, and in all thy company which is in the midst of thee, shall fall into the midst of the seas in the day of thy ruin. The suburbs shall shake at the sound of the cry of thy pilots, and all that handle the oar, the mariners, and all the pilots of the sea shall come down from their ships. They shall stand upon the land, and shall cause their voice to be heard against thee, and shall cry bitterly, and shall cast the dust upon their heads. They shall wallow themselves in the ashes. They shall make themselves utterly bald for thee, and gird them with sackcloth, and they shall weep for thee with bitterness of heart and bitter wailing. In their wailing they shall take up a lamentation for thee, and lament over thee, saying, what city is like Tyrus, like the destroyed in the midst of the sea? And the Revelation, it says, what city is like unto that great whore? You know, it says, who can make war with the beast? You know, it says, verse 33, it says, when thy wares went forth out of the seas, thou filledest many people. Thou didst enrich the kings of the earth. And how many nations got rich and continue to get rich off America, man? Because their goods are constantly being sold here. It says, thou didst enrich the kings of the earth with the multitude of thy riches and of thy merchandise. In the time when thou shalt be broken by the seas in the depths of the waters, thy merchandise and all thy company in the midst of thee shall fall. All the inhabitants of the isle shall be astonished at thee, and their kings shall be sore afraid. They shall be troubled in their countenance. The merchants among the people shall hiss at thee. Thou shalt be a terror and never shall be anymore, man. And what's that talking about? That's talking about this goddamn whore, man. America. Once again, right? So I'm gonna keep reading to the 28th chapter. Ezekiel 28, and I started 1. It says, and the word of Yahweh came again unto me, saying, son of man, say unto the prince of Tyrus, thus saith the Lord power, because thy heart is lifted up. And it just lets you know who the prince of Tyrus is today, right? It says, because thy heart is lifted up, and thou hast said, I am God. I sit in the seat of God in the midst of the seas. Who said that? Isaiah 14. The king of Babylon said that, man. Second Thessalonians, the 2nd chapter. It says the mystery of iniquity said that he sits in the seat as God. You know, who is this, man?
This is Isaiah 14:4. But thou should take up this proverb against the king of Babylon and say, how hath the oppressor ceased? The golden city ceased. The Lord hath broken the staff of the wicked and the scepter of the rulers. He who smote the people with the continual stroke. He that ruled the nations in anger is persecuted and none hinder it. Hey, Vatican, how they ruling the nations in anger, man? What policies are they putting out there that people are following, man? They're getting forced upon, man. Okay? Who's following the Vatican ways and getting rich and getting the kings, all right, getting rich off of them, man? Who is that? None, man, because they doing that to America, man. All right, so this is verse 11. Thy pomp is brought down to the grave, and the noise of thy vows, the worm is spread under thee, and the worm covered thee, and the worms covered thee. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which did weakest the nations? The Vatican beat the nation's ass, man. For thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven, I will exalt my throne above the stars of the Most High. I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. All right, that's talking about the king of Babylon, man, Esau, Edom. All right, and specifically over here in the land of the north.
That's right.
Where they sit and oppress who? The Israelites, man.
Yep.
The children of the Most High, man. All right, the stars of heaven. That's we oppress that over here. We oppress all over the world, but the main place where we at is here in America.
It says, we shall go to Babylon, and even here shall we be delivered.
Come.
You know, roughly paraphrasing, I believe it's in the book of Micah.
Micah 4:10, I think. He in pain and labor. God is Zion.
That Jeremiah 16 says, it shall no longer be said that the Lord liveth that delivered the children of Israel out of Egypt, but that the Lord liveth that delivered the children of Israel out of the land of the north.
All right. He says out of the land of the north and where they have been scattered.
That's right.
That's what they say. Oh, well, what about the scattered slaves? Yeah, but the main salvation is the land of the north, Babylon.
That's right.
Out of the land of the north and the place they've been scattered, man.
That's right.
So from Babylon and those few places, in those places they were scattered, man. But the main deliverance is here.
Yep.
Because the majority of Israelites are here. What most of the prophets are here. Go ahead.
This is back in Ezekiel 28 and verse 2. It says, Son of man, say unto the prince of Tyrus, thus saith the Lord power, because thy heart is lifted up, and thou hast said, I am the Most High. I sit in the seat of the Most High in the midst of the seas. Yet thou art a man and not the Most High, though thou set thy heart as the heart of the Most High. It says, behold, thou art wiser than Daniel. There is no secret that they can hide from thee. In the book of Luke, it says what? That they are wiser than the children of light, man. Children of light is who? What Daniel was, the Israelite, you know? Like it says in Psalms, man, the inward thought of these devils is very deep, man. You know, they search out iniquity, as the scripture says, man. They make a diligent search. Verse 4, it says, with thy wisdom and with thy understanding, thou hast gotten thee riches, and hast gotten gold and silver into thy treasures, by thy great wisdom and by thy traffic. What traffic has the Vatican been doing, man?
Where's the gold store? Is Fort Knox in Europe? All right.
It says, and by thy traffic hast thou increased thy riches, and thy heart is lifted up because of thy riches, man. You know? So because of the increase of what the traffic goes back to the merchandise. It goes back to what? The merchant city, which is this whore, this bitch. You know? Brothers did a couple lessons. America is worth trillions, man, while the Vatican is worth, I think it's 20 billion. Shit, Bill Gates alone is worth more than the goddamn Vatican. You know?
Well done. Well done. The Vatican deceived the people to get on a fucking money-based system, a debt-based system. What? You guys know?
No, I'm good.
It's a Habakkuk 2.
It's Habakkuk 2:5. He also, because he transgressed by wine, he is a proud man. He the keeper at home, who enlarges his desire as hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied. But gather unto him all nations, and heap into him all people.
Who's done that? This great melting pot called America, man. Went around the world with the mindset they're the world police, but not for actual peace sakes, but to gain control over these resources, man. To get you to give up all you got to get on my fucking paper currency, which I print and manipulate according to my own fucking will. And that's the witchcraft, that's the trick right there. You give me all your fuck, that's the deceit and thievery too, man, the robbery. You give me all your resources, here goes some riches, here goes some paper riches that I still control. That still that
the value of.
Right, I determine the value of. And it's based off how well I'm doing. My credit system and the value of the dollar depends on how well I'm doing. But the more I print and give to you, the worse I get. The cycle is dumb, man. It was bullshit. Your wisdom deceived thee, man. Keep going.
Should not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increases that which is not his? How long?
Right, because he robbed the nations, man. Go ahead.
Yeah. And to him that laid himself with thick clay.
There you go. He gathered the things that wasn't his by tricking them to get on this thick clay system, man. Which that means debt. All right, that's the thick clay, debt. So to get on an IOU system, a credit fucking debt system, man. He tricked the world. He got all these people like let's use the Saudis for example. They got all this, the princes of the Saudis. All right, got all this fucking money. All right, all this paper currency and shit. All right, but they got it to sell off for their own citizens, to oppress them, and to give America's actual resources of oil and shit, man. And then America used that to force the rest of the world to in order for them to do deals with them, they had to use the American dollar. So then the world started to conform, man. The Vatican did something like that. How does the Vatican fit this prophecy right here? Any of the other prophecies that's been coming out? They don't. Only America fits it, man. Keep going.
Shall they not rise up suddenly that shall bite thee, and awake that shall vex thee, and thou shalt be for booties unto them?
Keep going.
Because thou hast spoiled many nations, all the remnant.
What's funny is this part where it says, shall they not rise up suddenly? That part right there, it should say your creditors, man. It says creditors. That's crazy. Yeah. If you look, because my Bible got the T for translation. So it's your creditors, man. Keep going, man. Verse 8.
Because thou hast spoiled many nations, all the remnant of the people shall spoil thee because of men's blood, and for the violence of the land of of the city and of all that dwell therein.
Right. Because thou hast spoiled many nations. What nations had the Vatican went and spoiled? If they bombed Japan, and hey, look, they bombed Japan, right? But they did what? Made them rich. Right after they nuked them and it made them rich. That's what America did. That's the MO of what we read right here, man. To kill these nations and then make their kings rich. That's the American MO, man. And that's the prophecy's been fulfilled, man. That's written about Babylon. If you say that Vatican is Babylon, you say that the Assyria is, it's like, yeah, you saying that Assyria is the Vatican. You're saying that Nineveh is the Vatican. You saying that Tyrus is the Vatican. You're saying all these things are the Vatican if you haven't realized that, man. And these are things that go into who? America. All right? They're the ones that went and took down the nations, man. All right? They're the ones that spoiled the nations, man, by violence. Keep going.
Verse 9, woe to him that covers the evil covetousness to his house, that he may set his nest on high, that he may be delivered from the power of evil.
Keep going.
Thou hast consulted shame to thy house by cutting off many people, and has shunned against sinned against thy soul.
God. And that again is America. Went across the world, took down these nations to build themselves up. They conquered the world, and that put them at a higher level, man. All right, and then they would say, yeah, and they do it all in the guise of peace, right there. Say these people are committing crimes against humanity. The way they handle their citizens is not right. We got to go in there, take them down. Then in the midst of this, they gain control of their resources, put in puppet leaders, where they pay off kings being rich, so they can continue to get them resources, right? They make them learn the American way, let their women get liberties, let them become faggots. And when did the Vatican go across and say, look, you can't get assistance unless you allow homosexual marriages? That didn't happen. America did that. They said if you don't allow homosexual marriages, that we will not give you financial aid, right? Skip down to verse 15, man. Then we can...
Verse 15, woe unto him that giveth his neighbor drink, that putteth thy bottle to him, and maketh him drunken, also that they mayest look on their nakedness.
That thou mayest look on their nakedness, man. Hey, this is going to what? Just that. These people forcing the world to drink and become Western mindset, man. They doing crimes against humanity. That's what they saying. That's what they use against North Korea. Look how they doing the people. They doing this. They doing. Man, you can't even see what we going based only on what you showing us on your fucking your media's outlets, man. Like that movie. They supposedly snuck into North Korea and everything looked good over there. It was all fan photo. They living it up over there. Same thing did with Gaddafi. All right, Gaddafi was getting that currency backed off gold. He wanted to run the water lines through those lands over in Libya, man. All right, giving people free, just like Syria, giving them free college education. All right, it actually was good to be a citizen over there, but America demonized them, man. And what they do, they force them to drink this American way. They will bomb you until you learn the American way. Japan, look at Japan. What happened? They nuked them, and now Japan is so fucking perverse. It's ridiculous, man. Straight perverse, man. They talk about hypersexuality, man. It's all over the place over there, man. All this weird sex cartoons, all type of shit, man. There's weird game shows they got over in Japan. That's just normal now. That's America forcing an example of them forcing people to drink of that bottle. Hey, when did Vatican bomb somebody and make them get a Vatican mindset? America has done that to the world. All right. Hell, most of these countries, a lot of these citizens speak English as a second language, man. Because America influences the world, man, not the Vatican. America has forced democracy and the Western way of living upon the world, man. They forced it, made them damn Ishmaelites with certain lands over there where they women is out of order now, man. They put this on the planet, man. Not the fucking Vatican, man. Slack.
Yes, sir. This Nahum 3:1. Woe to the bloody city. It is full of lies and robbery. The prey departeth not.
Right. Hey, and if you so again, if you said the Vatican is Babylon, then you got to say that this right here is talking about the Vatican as well.
Yep.
All right, and that would mean that we in slavery in the Vatican right now. Then it said the prey departed not. It say them that held the captive refused to let thee go. All right, and that Jeremiah 50, man. So that means we in the Vatican. We should be in the fucking Vatican.
I mean, that knocks off so many scripts. Well, Deuteronomy 28:68. This can't be Egypt then. This can't be the place where we was delivered into slave. Because the place that we was delivered into slave ships, there is where we're going to be redeemed. You know?
And that would be Babylon. Because Revelation 11, which is talking about Babylon, calls that the spiritual Egypt where we got taken to a slave ship.
Exactly.
So that means we got another fucking boat ride to the Vatican and some more slavery to live out, man. But it don't say it's gonna happen twice. So y'all that's just way off, man. Full of lies and robbery, man. America has done just that. Hey, who did the Vatican trick China into China bought their debt, and then when they were ready to cash it in, the Vatican give China fake gold covered Tuscan, man? No, America did that shit. You have more name and time?
This is Daniel 7 and this is Daniel 7. I started 19. It says, "Then I would know the truth of the fourth beast, which was diverse from all the others, exceeding dreadful, whose teeth were of iron, and his nails of brass, which devoured, brake in pieces, and stamped the residue with his feet. And of the 10 horns that were in his head, and of the other which came up, and before whom 3 fell, even of that horn that had eyes, and how you break down this little horn then? There's too many unanswered questions with these guys, man.
Right.
What's this little horn before whom 3 fell? Explain that then. It says, even of that horn that had eyes and a mouth that spake very great things, whose look was more stout than his fellows. I beheld, and the same horn made war with the saints and prevailed against them until the Ancient of Days came and judgment was given to the saints of the Most High."
So this is where the Israelites will be at to the last days.
Yep.
This little horn.
Yep.
All right. And that little horn are you gonna go into what the Jews or because the little horn came out of the 3 horns, right? France, Britain, and Spain, man. How do you break that down to the Vatican? What's the 3 horns the Vatican took down? For one, the Vatican is part of Rome. That was the original. That would be the original fucking beast, right? Right?
Yeah, well, yeah.
That would be Rome because it's new Rome. I mean, somebody can answer. They can't answer me on the camera. Oh, shit. so this is the new Rome, man. And what did they take down before it got established? Those 3 horns, man. France, Spain, and Britain. That's who owned part of America until they all became one as Americans, man. And that little horn is now more stout than any of them ever been, man.
How they have that Creole culture in Louisiana.
That's right.
Because the French own that territory.
Yeah.
All right.
And they speak Spanish. Right next to them will be California, Mexico, New Mexico, Texas, Mexico too. Spanish came from the Spaniards. And then we got English from the fucking Brits.
Right.
All right, you got patois. Well, that's same shit, man. France, Spain, and Britain, man. That's who came and navigated this part of the world, man. All right, and America was formed from that.
Yeah, because you can see it, because Brazil speak what? Portuguese.
Right.
That's right there by Spain.
Well, it's part. Portugal is actually a part of Spain.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be.
Yeah.
You know, today, Soviet,
Mm-hmm. Just like the Levites in Haiti, what they speaking? They speaking French. They speaking French, man. Because it goes to those three horns, man. That fail. But anyway, it says until the ancient of verse 22, until the ancient of days came, and judgment was given to the saints of the Most High.
So we need to go our ass to the Vatican so we can get delivered then.
And that's what I'm saying. Because that the deliverance is coming out of Babylon. So why ain't these niggards getting plane tickets and going to the Vatican, man? Why ain't you prophesying, man? It says, and the time came that the saints possessed the kingdom. Thus he said, the fourth beast shall be the fourth kingdom upon the earth, which shall be diverse from all kingdoms, and shall devour the whole earth, and shall tread it down and break it in pieces. And the 10 horns out of this kingdom are 10 kings that shall arise, and an other shall rise after them, and he shall be diverse from the first, and he shall subdue 3 kings. And he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change times and laws, right? And America, man, is known for doing that, man.
Right. The Vatican accepts homosexuality, but they don't do it outwardly, man. And then America pushes it as an agenda, man. And whoever's not down with that program doesn't get to partake, man.
It says, and they shall be given into his hand until a time and times and dividing of times. Now, the brother had read Revelation 11. When you keep reading that Revelation 11, it says what? That a time elapsed of 350 years, and then the Spirit entered into us, man. That's the time that this devil, the power was given into his hands. You know, that's the times and dividing the times. It's talking about the 350 years that what? That we didn't know who we were, man. Right? It says, but the judgment shall sit, and they shall take away his dominion to consume and to destroy it unto the end. Unto the end, right? So when you read Revelation 17, and I'll start at 9. I'll start at 8. This Revelation 17 and 8. It says, the beast that thou sawest was and is not, and shall ascend out of the bottomless pit. So out of the bottomless pit is Europe, right? And go into perdition, destruction. So we just read in Daniel 7 about what's going to happen to the end, right? It says, and they that dwell on the earth shall wonder, whose names was not written in the book of life from the foundation of the world, when they behold the beast that was and is not and yet is. And here is the mind which hath wisdom. The 7 heads are 7 mountains on which the woman sitteth. And there are 7 kings, 5 are fallen, and 1 is, and the other is not yet come. So 5 of those heads that were fallen were the territory of the French, which, if I'm not mistaken, they were called Gauls during that time. The French fell, the Spanish fell, which I think that was called Hispaniola, if I'm not mistaken. Germania Minor, Germania Minor, Germania Major, Germania Minor, and the Greeks. Those are the 5 heads that were fallen. And it says the one is that was during the time of John the Revelator was what? Was Rome, right? And it said it was 1 to come. So that's 7. That's 7, right? If I'm not mistaken. So it says there are 7 kings, 5 are fallen. So we said the 5 is fallen, and 1 is the one that during that time was the Rome head, right? And the other is not yet come. And when he cometh, he must continue a short space. And the beast that was and is not, even he is the 8th and is of the 7th, man. So what came out of the 7th head? The 7th head being Britain, being England. So what came out of England? What came out of Britain, man? Which that's America. That's why you read in Jeremiah, it says that what thy mother shall be ashamed of thee, man. So how's that talking about the Vatican? So it says, And the beast that was and is not, even he is the eighth and is of the seventh and goeth into perdition. So that eighth, which is of the seventh, was just that that head being healed, man. Because when you read in I believe it's the 13th chapter, if I'm not mistaken.
This is Revelation 13 and 3. I'm starting 3. I'm gonna start at 3. And I saw one of his heads as it were wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed, and all the world wondered after the beast.
Exactly, man. Hey, so that it was wounded to death when that happened. Hey, that happened when Jake got into rulership, man. When the Roman Empire failed, you know. And then it said that it was healed. When was it healed? Well, it was healed when this devil came out of his renaissance, when he came out of those mountains, you know. But it was really fully established during the Treaty of Rome, man, when he made that pact, that treaty. So all those lands in the ancient time, the Gauls, the Hispaniola, and all those different land masses today, which represents French, which represents Spain, which represents Britain, and Germania Minor, those European countries over there. Hey, that's Esau getting that power back, man. So that head being healed, you know. And how did that head get healed? It said it came out of the seventh, and that seventh head was Britain, man. So how did the Vatican come out of Britain? How did the Vatican come out of England? So let's talk about America, man. It says, Revelation 17:11, and the beast that was and is not, even he is the eighth.
This is Revelation 13 and 4. And they worshipped the dragon, which gave power unto the beast, going back to that Roman system, you know, which is what runs the beast, right? And which gave power unto the beast, and they worshipped the beast, saying, who is like unto the beast, who is able to make war with him? All right? Nobody's fearing the Vatican like that, man. They fearing America, man, and its allies, you know, its European allies, man. All right? That's that head, man. Who can make war with it? Just as the Roman Empire, man. Who can fuck with it? It took over the world. It's the same thing all over again. But this time they got the full world instead of just the known Eastern world, man. Like that would read that to the point what you said. So good.
Back in Revelation 17:11, it says, and the beast that was and is not, even he is the eighth and is of the seventh and goeth into perdition. That destruction, man, you know. And that's the little horn. And when we read Daniel 7, what was the end of the fourth beast? Was that little horn popping up, man? That little horn being what? Being America, man. That's the end of the Roman rule, right? It says, verse 12, and the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings, which have received no kingdom as yet, but receive power as kings 1 hour with the beast. These have one mind and shall give their power and strength unto the beast. These shall make war with the Lamb.
That's the treaty of Rome, the brothers going into. All right, they came to agreement and established the. I believe what was it called at that time?
The European. I think it was EEC. Yeah. Yep. European Economic Community or some shit like that.
You can Google it. All right.
The Treaty of Rome, the TEEC. So the Treaty of Rome, officially treaty establishing the European Economic Community, is an international agreement that brought about the creation of the European Economic Community. The best known of the European communities, it was signed in March 25th, 1957 by Belgium, France, Italy, Luxembourg, the Netherlands, and West Germany, and came into force January 1st, 1958. It remains one of the most important treaties in the modern day European Union.
There you go. So that led to the EU, which will lead to what? NATO, man. All right, and it says they gave this power to they all gave power to this beast, but it's 1 hour, man. Because these kingdoms have been around. World War I was just fought, World War II was just fought. All right, but they officially gave their power over to this one conglomerate right here. All right. Now it's established, man. And now the whole beast system is established with this treaty right here. With America being a whore on the beast's back, the face of the company, man. Because when they joined up, then they won. They won the war, World War I, and then the same in World War II, man. Go ahead.
Back in Revelation 17:14, it says, "These shall make war with the Lamb."
It says these have one mind. And who did Merkel say we can't make the decisions for us anymore to the EU? She said that about America.
Yep.
These have one mind, man. Man. The spirit. Yeah. Let me finish
and one thing we was talking about a couple of days back, right? Why would the Lord need intercontinental missiles if the Vatican is Babylon? He wouldn't need an intercontinent. He don't need a weapon that'll go from one continent to another continent.
Right, and look up continent before you put your foot in your mouth and say, but they different. What if they sending it from Asia to Europe? Continent means one connected landmass. All that shit over there is connected, man.
Mm-hmm.
So from over there to over here is what the intercontinental part comes into place. Between continents, man. Between landmass, from one land, all right, to a whole separate land, which is over here, the Western world. All right. Why would that need to exist if it was the Vatican? I'm gonna finish the verse up. Slow. These have one mind and shall give their power and strength to the beast, man. All right, that strength, it says authority. All right, so these have one mind and shall give their power and authority unto the beast. They all work as a unit now, man.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, but guess what? It's saying down. They should be divided, though, man. You say disagreements, and it's getting worse now. All right, but they had that power and united for that little season, man. And it's at the end because that division is strong now, man. Them 10 toes, partially strong, partially weak. But and that's financially. And Esau is driven off money, greed, and because some of them countries was weak and some of them were strong, that division is set, man. And now they see America falling, they really ready to throw this on to the bus, man. Like they're gonna say it. They're gonna say it. They're gonna say it.
God, and that was a promises that Donald Trump ran on dismantling NATO. All right, that North Atlantic Treaty Organization. All right, that's what he was running on because he knows certain economies are weaker. Like for example, like right now the Greek economy, man, is in shambles, man. All right, then wanting to separate from those weaker nations that are weighing down their economies.
That's right. Hey, and a lot of Europeans want to leave the union too, for that same reason. I think it was Germany. Maybe it was Germany. They said we don't want to have to keep carrying nations like Greece.
Yep.
They said we don't want to. They said we don't have to keep carrying nations like Greece, man.
And because they're all intertwined, they're all working with because it's NATO, it's EU, and it's the UN, man. All right.
Yeah, the UN is just that powerhouse, the force of this shit.
Right, where they meet.
And it's still America running the shit. Right.
In New York.
You're right. Right. It's right here in New York. Stop.
Back in Revelation 17:14, it says, "These shall make war with the Lamb, and the Lamb shall overcome them, for he is Lord of lords and King of kings, and they that are with him are called and chosen and faithful. And he saith unto me, the waters which thou sawest where the horse sitteth are peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues."
Who got they fucking hand up everybody's ass, man? America. They got people on every fucking landmass, man. Not the Vatican, man.
Mm-hmm.
How many fucking Vatican embassies are there across the globe?
Yeah, and the Lord speaks about the mingled people. It shall be upon all the mingled people.
God.
This place here got what, man? You can find every nationality here in America.
And in the major cities, man. In the major cities, New York, Chicago, you have what, man? You have the little diverse cities like Chinatown. You have all these other nations, man, are having their own villages, man. Ukraine village, here in Chicago, man, how they have it set up, man. All right, you have Little Italy, you have Greek Town, all right. Ukrainian village.
And her brother quoted the Jeremiah. It says, "We would have healed her," but it says, "Let us forsake her, and everyone go to their own city, basically their own country, man." Just letting you know, the people here, hey, they're gonna go back to their own country. You know, it says, verse 16, "In the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire." Or the most, so they gonna shoot missiles on this bitch, man.
That's right.
It says, "For the Most High hath put in their hearts to fulfill His will, and to agree and give their kingdom unto the beast, until the words of the Most High shall be fulfilled." It says, "And the woman which thou sawest is that great city which reigneth over the kings of the earth."
And there you go. That whore, the actual woman, is who that has the power. All right, the one that gives the mind over to the rest of the beast, which be the EU, the one whose agenda counts the most. All right.
Is the Pope called the leader of the free world?
Good.
I thought that was a term for the American president, man. So just letting you know that, hey, that whore that sitteth on many waters. You know?
Has that major influence?
There's no way around it, man. You know? You read about the destruction in Ezekiel, how all the merchants is going to wail her, man, and say the same thing in Revelation.
Like the brother said, all you gotta do is look some up, man. Just while we're here, man, you search the largest consumer nations gonna be what, man? America, man. 26%, man. China's next with 7%, man. All right, this is that merchant city, man.
Yeah, it's 294. It says America has 294 embassies worldwide. 27 of them in the fucking Middle East and North Africa region.
What a coincidence that that's where the natural resources are, man.
Right.
It's pillaging the planet, man.
That's a hell of an increase because it was a thing done in 2000. They had just 174 embassies. They were still number one in the world. And now the economy is damn near over 50% increase.
What was that, 2000?
Mm-hmm.
17 years of what? Of a war on terrorism.
Exactly. And now they got an extra 100
embassies
120, 130 embassies because of it. And they not him that reigneth over the kings of the earth, putting sanctions on the earth.
Think the same change times and laws.
That's right. Hey, the main thing, who pushed the homosexuality on the world? If you don't accept it, then you can be punished for as a criminal against humanity. Shit.
Hate crime.
Right. The hate crime. Your ass doing a world hate crime, man.
Global hate crime.
Didn't the recent president just add time onto the clock? Well, I think Bush took some time off. But America influences all of that shit, man. Even how you keep time.
Yeah, this is Jeremiah 50. It's Jeremiah 50, and I'm gonna jump around. It's Jeremiah 50 and 9. It says, it's Jeremiah 50 and 9. It says, "For lo, I will raise and cause to come up against Babylon an assembly of great nations from the north country, and they shall set themselves in array against her. From thence she shall be taken. Their arrows shall be as of a mighty expert man. None shall return in vain. And Chaldea shall be a spoil. All that spoil her shall be satisfied, saith Yahweh. Because ye were glad, because ye rejoiced, O ye destroyers of mine heritage. And where was that done at, man? You know, that was done here. It says, because ye are grown fat as the heifer at grass and bellow as bulls. It says, your mother shall be sore confounded. She that bare you shall be ashamed. Behold, the hindermost of the nations shall be a wilderness, a dry land, and a desert. Because of the wrath of Yahweh, it shall not be inhabited, but it shall be wholly desolate. Everyone that goeth by Babylon shall be astonished and hiss at all her plagues, man. Hey, so like the brother said, man, if Vatican City is Babylon, man, well now you got to teach that it's Egypt, it's Assyria, it's Tyrus, you know, Tyrus, you know. You got to teach us that's Basra, man, the chief city of Esau, because this is Esau's chief city here, you know. I was gonna say all Hebrew Israelites should know, but obviously they don't. You know, this is Esau's chief city, man. This is his money maker. This is his like the scripture says, man. It says Babylon was a golden cup in the Lord's hand, man. The brother read Isaiah 10 and says, well, I have gathered the riches of the nation. I did this, I did that. Esau, Edom, boasting, man. Well, first off, when you read in that chapter, it was talking about the Assyrian, which the Assyrian is who? It's Esau, Edom. And secondly, how did he capture all this? How did he gather all the nations together, man? I'm going to jump down. Jeremiah 50 and 23. It says, how is the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken? How is Babylon becoming desolation among the nations, man? So the brother just read what is 290, it said 296, you know, 200 and something different embassies that he got scattered across the world, man. Not to mention how many military bases he got scattered. What they call it, an occupation, when they occupy somebody's land, man.
Right. Why do you think those the Japanese want them out of there, man? All right, because they know what comes with it, man. And you hear about the stories, man, about these Edomites, man, going and raping their women, man.
Hey, check this out. This is a little article. It's titled "How George W. Bush Ruined Daylight Savings Time." I ain't gonna read the whole article. I'm gonna skip through it. All right. Let's revisit why this act was passed. In the summer of 2005, America was facing a full-blown energy crisis, but Republican Congress was unwilling to do anything that would substantially improve the country's energy efficiency. They wouldn't mandate improved light bulbs. They wouldn't increase cafe standards. But alongside billions of dollars of handouts and tax breaks for dirty energy and token money for boondoggles like clean coal and hydrogen fuel cells, the first Hastings Congress was willing to save energy. They put that in quotes because save energy, what the fuck does that mean? Energy crisis, how do you have an energy crisis? Energy is always around, man. Fucking devils. But was willing to save energy by shortening the portion of the year when Americans are allowed to sleep late. They did this by shifting the start and end dates for daylight savings time so that the portion of the year when it's easier to wake up is a full month shorter, and the corresponding, good Lord, this is painful period a month longer. All right. Let me read a little more. There was something unsettlingly and creepily disproportionate about the idea that Congress couldn't muster the will to improve energy efficiency, so it voted to change time itself. All right, and if you can read through this yourself, but then you scroll down to another paragraph, it says, to be just real quick, to be sure, monkeying with the start date for daylight savings time is not that unusual. President FDR, all right, which is Franklin Delano Roosevelt, Wilson, and Nixon all enacted far-reaching time changes in an attempt to reduce energy use during a national emergency. Nixon's was the OPEC embargo. All right. And then it just goes some more into how they did too, man. Right. And this talks about they like this one though. By contrast, the time change schedules adopted by Presidents Johnson and Reagan were quite moderate. They gave people a little extra daylight during the summer months while still respecting the dictate. Hey, look, this is bullshit. And, right, they say while still respecting the dictates of nature, synchronizing wake-up times with the actual passage of the seasons. And that's the bullshit right there, man. Hey, if you just follow the signs of the heavens the way it should be, the sun and the moon doing this thing, your body will operate naturally off that clock. All right, that's why they said that they set up the time so it can, better dictate what nature already set up. Which proves this America is that beast, man, that changed the times right there. That changed times. Who was doing that? Who else is doing that? And that in itself is part of warring with the saints. That shit fucks up your biological clock all type of ways, man. That's madness, man. The spirit just brought that back up. That's the Americans been doing that for the longest, man. Different presidents. And one of them that they mentioned said it didn't work as well because it was during a more rural time. They weren't operating on digital clocks and shit like that too much back then. It was more with the nature. But then after that, Nixon and FDR and then on up to now, everything's so modernized. People really, this is the time. Your phone, whatever time your fucking phone or watch say, that's the time.
Right.
It can be fucking bright as fuck outside. If your phone tell you it's 7 p.m. in the middle of December, that's what fucking time it is. That's madness, man. Sloppy.
Oh, that's all good. I typed in most hated country in the world. It's just different things popping up, man.
Well, that's all based off of
right.
Most of the writer's
countries,
opinion.
right.
The most hated country is America. Look, China hates America. All right, these people are fake friends with them, but these nations are against them, man.
Yeah.
And when you talk to the citizens, you can't go based off the leaders of them people. You got to deal with the citizens. And everybody hates America because everybody feels that America is the problem of the world, is the cancer to the world. America is the reason for all these wars. All right, America is the reason for all these murders, the poverty. All right, this bullshit way of living that people on, and people know and acknowledge this. It's a lot.
No, because I typed in most hated country in the world, and I'm just seeing the different ones. I ain't clicked on nothing yet, but I'm just seeing the different like little things it says before I click on it.
Mm-hmm.
One of them says, is America the most hated nation on earth? It says America is by far the most hated nation on earth. This is primarily because of America's policies around the world.
Yep.
But it ain't the hammer of the earth though. Right? It says the United States of America is the most hated. This has to do with a lot of American intervention in the Middle East. You know? Because they putting they 2 cents into everybody's business, man.
And holding Israel as a state, man. The state of Israel, man.
Yes, so all I did was just type in that, and this what pops up, right? So this is Sirach 10:7. It says, "Pride is hateful before the Most High and man." So when you go to Daniel 7 and it says, "Whose look is more stout than his fellows," who's the most proud, man? And it's popping up right here, man.
That's right. And it says that the nation drunk of her wine are mad. Like, these people hate America. But it still say they're going to weep because they still getting rich off of this place, man.
Right.
They got that fake love. They appreciate the money. They hate this for it, man. This prideful bitch is going around the country, the world, slacking, doing whatever the fuck they want to. All right? Just got a picture, man. He going slapping little kids, taking they sucker from him. All right? Going punching old ladies, throwing them down the stairs and shit. That's what America's been doing to the world, man. And nobody gives a fuck about it. They send a bunch of drone attacks, man, has been blowing up little ass kids. They claim to be going to war to help bring peace to these people, but they blowing up kids, man, blowing up hospitals. And it's okay when they do it, man. The whole world hates this place, man. That's injurious practices, man. Gathering the world by injuring and killing these people, man, that's injurious practice, man.
Yeah.
This is Obadiah. Hey, Obadiah 1 and 2. Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen, thou art greatly despised. The pride of thine heart hath deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock. Going back to that pride, man. Everybody hates these damn Edomites, and specifically the Americans, man. All right, because that's the face of the company. Because the rest of the Edomites gave power over the who? They have one mind. America, man. In the clefts of the rocks, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? There you go. When you got a mindset who's gonna take me down, they behaving like it, man. And the nations hate that shit, man. All right. There you go. All right. So with that, hope this is edifying. All praises, honor, and glory to
Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai.
Double honors to the apostles. The salutation to you brothers doing this thing in sincerity, with truth, and with charity. Shalom.
Shalom.
Bible ball.